Hey, check this out! My Xiaomi m365 has gone through some upgrades, big and small. Stick around to find out more. Hello, and thank you for joining me on another one of my tech series videos. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dimitri and I'm an American expat living in the Philippines. I always had a lot of passion for technology, and here I'm going to share some of that with you. If you find this video entertaining and informative, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And now, please sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode about my immersion into tech as the time-lapse traveler. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Time-Lapse Traveler. This time I'm going to be making an updated review of my own personal scooter, the Xiaomi m365. And today the reason why I'm doing this update is because I got my mod. I purchased this scooter for myself right after moving to the Philippines in March of 2019. So I've had this for pretty close to 2.5 years already. Since then, I put well over 1,500 kilometers on it because I don't really take long trips usually. That's not really what it's meant for. It's only meant for going around more locally. And for that, it really does great. With this new battery pack, however, it opens up a whole new world for me. There's a really awesome store in Makati called iScooter ATPV. They got me this new accelerator throttle, but the really cool part is this right here. So I got this additional battery, which gives me a lot of awesome power to go faster than the scooter normally allows. One of the drawbacks of this scooter here is that the maximum speed only tops out at about 25 kilometers an hour, and this battery here gives me an additional 10 or so kilometers an hour. So now when I plug it in to this port right here, I can go up to 35 or even a little bit faster. So, you know, with that speed, I can actually stay on the streets more comfortably and obviously get from point A to point B that much faster. It's a really awesome mod. Plus, it also came with this key ignition and a voltmeter. And I'm going to start this video out actually by going to Market right in front of me right there. Market is my favorite local mall, which you could find pretty much anything, any kind of accessories. So right now I'm going to be going in there to get a new pouch. This pouch that I have here that I was using before, it doesn't quite fit. Some people like to get some big fancy schmancy pouches that they get on Lazada or whatever. But you know what? The main thing for me is to be able to hold this battery comfortably and securely without taking up too much additional space. Plus, why spend more money than you absolutely have to? Last time I was able to find this one pretty easily. Hopefully I'll be able to find a replacement with no troubles either. So let's go check it out. I'm fortunate enough to be living in this gorgeous area with lots of choices to go shopping for just about anything that I could ever want. The Market Mall is the premier destination for so many different shopping needs. One of the great things about this scooter model is how popular it is, which means that there are a whole lot of aftermarket options that can be compatible with it and people who specialize at working on it to make repairs and modifications. The thrift shop marketplace on the second floor is something that is missing from many of the other malls in the area. Please leave me a comment if you would like to see me make a more detailed tour of this or any of the other malls in and around BGC. Here you can get a wide variety of inexpensive clothing and accessories that a typical outlet store just won't carry. T-shirts, shoes, pajamas, cheap gifts for pasalubong, lots of things that can be found here for a good bargain. Although ladies' purses and backpacks here are plentiful, shops where I can find a small pouch, such as the one that I'm looking for, are in short supply. So after a whole bunch of looking around, I found this right here, this pouch, which fits the battery just perfectly. I mean, look at this fit. Oh my! It could not be a more ideal fit than this. The only thing I don't like about this pouch is this really ugly logo here that brings back horrible memories. But other than that, yeah, it's great. So I'm just going to replace this pouch right here, which is going to be held by my leather belt. And that's really all I need. It's could not have asked for a better solution. And so let's start with the two main components. This is the standard controller display that you'll find in so many electric scooter models. It can be purchased online at sites like Lazada or Shopee for between 800 to 1000 pesos. This also acts as the connection to the enhanced power of the booster battery and reads out the current power setting, travel speed, total distance traveled, as well as individual trips. I wouldn't rely on this battery meter indicator, however, as it doesn't give you the accurate readout. This is due to how the total power is shared between the two separate battery modules. The internal 36-volt battery that the scooter originally came with, together with the added 12 volts provided by the smaller booster battery. Instead, there's this small voltage indicator that will tell you the total power remaining. Unlike a standard battery meter, however, you won't be waiting for it to go down to zero, as the batteries are effectively depleted once the total power go back from the combined 52 volts down to around 36 or so. It is important to prevent the booster battery from going down so low, because this can potentially cause irreversible damage to the battery cells. As you can see, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as with more power comes more responsibility. I need to emphasize that if the main battery goes completely drained, you can just charge it up again, but this aftermarket battery should not be allowed to get drained. To help keep track of this, I've purchased a small voltage indicator which plugs directly into the battery by an attached wire. Since the booster battery is separate from the main battery of the scooter, this is the same wire connection that you will use to charge up the battery with a charger such as this one that I purchased on Shopee. Another downside to having power rerouted like this is losing the functionality of both the front and rear lights. To compensate for that, I purchased the slide you see here. It is really designed to be used with an action camera such as a GoPro or my Insta360 1R, which I used to make this video, but it works just great when attached to the handlebar of my scooter. As you can see, this light is really good at lighting up the road. It also has a few different modes of brightness, and it even has a strobe function. As for the rear warning light, I purchased a small light that is attached to the back of my helmet, so it's not a problem at all, not even much of an inconvenience, but something to keep in mind when considering this kind of a modification. Now it's time to take the scooter out for a spin and see how it performs out on the open road and with the regular traffic within the city streets. With this new booster battery, I'm now able to hit at least 35 kilometers an hour or even more, since I'm no longer held back by an artificial speed limiter that the scooter typically has. Speaking of going fast, let's see just what kind of a difference in acceleration we get now, going down from the starting position up to the maximum speed with and without the boosted battery. I'm not going to bother wasting time with going through all the different speed modes, since the maximum power mode is all that really matters here. First, let's see how we go to the stock speed of 25 kilometers an hour without the booster battery.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh my god.
And now, let's compare to see the acceleration to 35 kilometers or however fast we go with the booster battery plugged in.
3, 2, 1, go!
When going down a hill, such as this one on McKinley Road, I was able to speed down at a previously unimaginable 44 kilometers an hour.
Say what?
At least for what this scooter was capable of before, all thanks to this unopposing battery mod. Another good thing about it is that when going back up the same hill, I can go at almost the same maximum speed, missing the mark by just a few kilometers an hour.
Denied.
As you can see, it's pretty easy to do over 40 kilometers an hour, going down just a gentle slope. There are some really good reasons to get a booster battery mod such as this one, besides the obvious advantages of getting that extra go power. I also look at it as a way to negate the need to purchase a more powerful scooter, which is much less of a necessity now for me. Riding a small and light electric scooter like this remains an absolute best way to get around the streets of Metro Manila in my opinion. There are so many examples that I come across where it's better than any motorcycle or any other mode of transportation to get around could possibly be.
Just take a look at this scenario right here when I was approaching this congestion leading up to a red traffic light when riding through my old neighborhood in Makati City. Too many cars and other vehicles blocking the road, not a problem in most cases. In addition to that, the added speed and acceleration that I get with the booster battery means that although of course I still have to generally stick to the bicycle lane and can't exactly take over the road by pretending that I can really keep up with the cars and motorcycles in regular traffic, there are now a lot of cases where I can hold my own in more situations on the road, especially when there's more traffic, and this way have the best of both worlds.
This guy right here almost jumped right in front of me because he didn't see me coming. Luckily, he was really friendly and apologized for almost smashing into me instead of being upset about it. Thanks to my scooter having such a little mass and with a good brake, I had no trouble stopping in time to prevent a collision. I purchased my Xiaomi m365 in early March of 2019, just about 2 weeks after landing in Manila and starting my new life here in the Philippines. Ever since then, I've been putting it to work in a number of different ways, but mostly just short distance errands around my neighborhood. Unfortunately, I haven't been having a lot of opportunities lately to take it out beyond going to a few different places in Makati City when I occasionally visit a handful of different areas, including the place where my friend Kuya Rico is staying in Pembo, Makati. I made a video about him not long ago, and if you'd like to see that one, the link is in the top right corner. The way this battery mod is designed, I'm not permanently attached to it. I always have an option to disconnect it from the main power module. Just make sure not to try doing it when it's switched on, because you could end up burning the battery or other components. Once you do disconnect it, you'll need to replace the battery connector with this small jumper connector to close the circuit. Without it, the scooter will not start. This power indicator can measure the remaining voltage left in the booster battery, as you need to keep it charged separately with this power adapter. Since this originally Xiaomi's charger will only give power to the battery that is inside the unit.
Another great add-on was getting these brand new tubeless tires. They give me almost all the same benefit and peace of mind that I had with the puncture-proof solid rubber tires, which had only small round cutouts to help dampen the bumps on the road, but with a huge added benefit of these new tires being air-filled for a way smoother ride. This almost completely negates the need for an expensive and bulky optional suspension upgrade that I see so many people roll around with these days. Another great thing about this is that the shape of these tubeless tires is essentially the same as the original stock tires, as opposed to the more flat-like shape of most solid tires, for way better control. Next, I want to take a moment to talk about the rear fender. The original one that this scooter came with has a more basic connection to the frame of the body, and so has a tendency to dangle after a while, even if you maintain tightening the screws when they inevitably become loosened up after a while. This rear fender has additional connection points right here, which keeps a more secure fit. The most recent addition to my scooter is this child handlebar that I placed around the center of the stem. Now personally, I don't have any kids, at least not that I know of. That was a joke, by the way. But I sometimes see people ride on a scooter like this with a young child standing in the front. Now I personally don't think that this is particularly safe in some cases. The reason I got this handlebar is to help keep my backpack in place that I always ride around with. For those of you who have been following my channel, You know that I always keep a backpack strapped to the front of my scooter as I ride it wherever I go, so as to prevent my back from sweating and to keep myself that much more comfortable. This handlebar keeps my backpack from sliding from side to side and maintains a steady center of gravity at all times, which helps a lot. As an icing on this hot cake on wheels, I got these vinyl blue accent stickers for these tires for a bit more personalized flavor. Lastly, I got these new rubber grips on the handlebars to get a more comfortable handle when holding onto them. The original rubber grips were fine, but after years of use, they got completely worn out and had to be replaced.
I found this captivated audience who seemed impressed by my scooter, so I thought I'll see how they feel about it. Well, since I couldn't get them to say anything about it,
This is where I'm going to close out this updated review of my Xiaomi m365 electric scooter with the added mods. If you have any comments, ideas or questions about anything that you've seen in this video, or about electric scooters and e-bikes in general, then please let me know in the comments section. As always, please click on the like button if you enjoyed what you saw here, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, hit the bell icon to make sure the notifications are enabled to let you know about my upcoming videos. Also, please do take care of yourselves and each other, and of course, keep looking out for more videos coming at you from the Time-Lapse Traveler.